Good morning, afternoon. Welcome to the Environmental Services Committee meeting for January 9th, 2024. And we will call the meeting to order. Does anybody have any declaration of pecuniary interest?
None known.
And I don't believe there's any delegations.
Nope.
So we can go ahead and circulate the prior meeting minutes. Does anybody have any questions?
No, and they were approved at the end of November,
Okay,
so. Yeah, that, right, that was our
Yep.
last council meeting,
all right.
at the end of November, so we approved the minutes from the last committee.
And there are no council issues or correspondence that I'm aware of. The health and safety report is there.
The task list.
Ongoing tasks carried forward.
Yes. So there was nothing on the completed task list. And the ongoing tasks. So there's one here about the financial software and setting up the loan program for services on St. Clair Street. That should be on the completed list because that's all done. The water wastewater bylaw, there's money in the budget to do that. So that'll be, assuming the budget gets passed with that in it tonight, we'll be able to start work on that. We're still at some point need to work on guidelines for meter replacement. And I think that's everything that was under environmental, I believe. Yep.
Okay,
Now, sorry, we can go to
Okay.
safety.
the Joint Health and Safety Committee inspection sheets, everything looks good except for the ongoing mold issue, which is known. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Okay, on to new business. So the Environmental Services Monthly Report for November and December 2023.
Got a copy, so.
Do you want,
Just give me a second, I'll
do you want mine?
please.
Would you pass that to
Of
Jason,
course.
please? And then I can follow on the screen.
Yep.
So digester update for the digester project. Basically, the village is waiting for a report from MIG. We've had multiple emails and in-person discussions on the project, and they're just waiting for Matten to give them their options to go forward. And then once they have them, they're gonna present them to the village for consideration. So there's really no more to update until we get the report from MIG on that. Staff, work management and staff, we have currently two full-time employees in the department, one employee is on leave. We have one contract employee and we have a vacancy due to a resignation. Training, all the staff are achieving the required training hours to maintain or get higher licenses. Myself and staff are planning to schedule, or we were planning or hoping to schedule as much training during the winter months as we could to try to get caught up and ahead of it, but unfortunately due to the vacancy, we may not be able to get a lead now for some of that training, so that's the goal, is to try to get it done in the winter as much as we can in the winter months. So when all the projects start up in the spring, and we won't be have to send people away for training. Certifications. All the staff have the required certification to work in the plant right now. I'm always trying to encourage our staff to get the set goals and get the highest level of certification they can. Treatment plant for the interior, all the interior maintenance is being completed and tracked through the mesh work order system. The plant and all the remote facilities continue to have routine maintenance and general housekeeping work done on a regular scheduled basis. Just the admin building, we're working to correct some of the, or have a plan in place to correct some of the issues with the current building. and getting a floor plan and an estimate done by MIG for some of that work. And basically with that, once MIG does submit a plan, which they're working on, well, that'll get submitted to the committees and council before any further work's done on that project. Again, MES office, so the ceiling's still leaking. Discussed that in the past, kind of all depends on what happens with the construction of a potentially new building. Just want to stress the importance of keeping that project at least moving forward in the right direction. This was on the last committee, I made mention of just some of the concerns with the planned construction project on the second span. They're gonna be working directly overhead. They're gonna be doing a lot of concrete work on the areas that have the deteriorating concrete. So I do have some concerns, and would like to try to get a meeting set up later on with the bridge in the village to make sure that, you know, when that work starts and it's being done, that we know that the staff are gonna be, you know, out of the area and nowhere near where there could be potential hazards coming off the bridge. And then just the additional mold that was brought up and discussed in the last committee meeting. The exterior, all the plant maintenance again is being tracked and done through our work order system. And currently there's no new issues or deficiencies that we know of. And if there is anything come up, then we would just add that to the 25 capital budget at this point. Unless it's deemed an emergency, and then we bring it to council for, you know, approval of inspections. We don't have any inspections to report for this period. Wastewater infrastructure, all the remote assets are in good working condition to the best of our knowledge. MES is working with the treasurer's here and committee on the 24 operating capital budgets, which will be reviewed by council tonight. Manager of environmental services, I've been in discussions with WESUC and the NOECP. WESUC would like to haul effluent water from the plant when needed over to their Sarnia site. There's some questions that were brought up as far as permits and whether or not they would be allowed to do that with any kind of special authorization from the ministry. We still haven't heard back from the ministry. They're trying to get us some answers on that. It could possibly be a small revenue stream for us if that were to happen. And then they'd also like to haul leachate from a local site into the plant. Also been discussing that with the ministry, as our current ECA doesn't give any mention to us as a receiver for any kind of waste. There's some other issues which were discussed in the past about, you know, potential issues that it could create for the facility, and there's also financial issues that need to be discussed as well. So as I get more information back from mainly the ministry right now, then we'll proceed with, you know, trying to find out if there's anything else that we can move forward with and have committee and council involved in those discussions. St. Clair Street, basically, there's no updates from my department at this time. As far as St. Clair Street, other than I did have MIG contacting, asking to have groups remove a couple more trees on one of the properties. They had already been discussing that with the property owner, and I forwarded the information to the CAO and Public Works Department to see about getting that taken care of.
They
haven't, and I don't believe they've even been marked yet. They were supposed to mark them before Christmas. I don't see any markings on them, and I don't believe they've been taken down either the last I looked yesterday, I didn't look today. Inspections, audits, the 2023 internal QMS audit, internal audit was done for 2023 in December. And we're currently gonna be doing our 24 external audit this month. Stormwater infrastructure. Just wanted to stress the importance of the equipment, older equipment at Bayview Pump Station. It's gonna be a line item in the capital budget for that. I'm trying to get some quotes for some time on that, and there's really only the only company that seems to want to have any involvement with that project is Tormont Cat. Everybody else is kind of declined coming to give us a price. So they're continuing to try to come up with a solution for us. And again, once I get that information, and hopefully be all ready for the March village budget, and then we can see where we go on that. We haven't put money away in reserves for 3 years or 4 years. 3 or 4 years, we've been putting money away in reserves for that upgrade. There is some money in the budget for emergency repairs. Trying not to spend that. It's a significant amount of money, so if we can save that and put it towards the upgrade, that's the goal, but the money is there if we have to do something right away as an emergency, but I'd rather not spend the money on 60-year-old equipment. Then the catch basin repair list, we have an ongoing list of catch basins for repair, and then as we get enough to make a day's worth of work or a couple days worth of work for the contractors, we'll get them in and get them fixed. And it's just a continue never ending cycle that we keep having to repair them. I guess in a new item on this, we just found on Friday and confirmed yesterday, we do have a stretch of storm sewer on Michigan Avenue. There's 56 meters of storm sewer pipe that's going to need replacing. I spoke to Glenn Hamill from the county today. The county doesn't want to do anything during the winter. So we're going to, hopefully this week, it's planned that we're going to do a repair on the worst section where the parking area is all blocked off now. And then in the spring, the county and the village will get together and we'll make a plan on what has to be done or how they want to move forward with that. Because it basically runs from just west of Alberts to just east of Salvatore's. So
Wasn't that done a few years ago?
there's basically 3 catch basins. Those 3 catch basins are still corrugated steel pipe. As soon as you get to the east of the problem area, it's all new plastic
Okay.
pipe. For whatever reason, that last 56 meters was never done, and now we're gonna have to. That there is a void under the pavement where the pylons are. That's why we have to put the pylons to make sure nobody was parking on that area until we can get it fixed. So,
How long does a project like that usually take?
just for the repair,
Mhm.
it'd be a day or 2 at the
Okay.
most. It'll be a little bigger depending on what the county, because it is a county road, so they'll have say in how it's done, so I'm not sure, and Glenn didn't know off the top of his head exactly how they're gonna wanna go about that, because I think that was all just milled and paved this past summer, I believe, wasn't it? Yes, that section was done this summer. So in the spring, we'll have to have some meetings and figure that out, but as of now, we're just doing it temporary. Vehicle,
How much of that project do they have done, Jay, the assessment? Like, will they be
the
2/3
camera,
done now, or?
I just printed a whole bunch of invoices off. I'm gonna say they're probably close to 2/3 done.
Yeah,
They've got quite a bit of work done since to do the remaining amount. I would say a solid 2/3 would be done. And again, if the weather stays the way it has been, they should be able to get it done fairly quickly, because they're here, they've been here every day pretty much. There's been a couple days they've got pulled off to go do emergency jobs, but they're here on a regular basis trying to get it done. Vehicles and equipment, all our vehicles and equipment are in excellent shape. This was brought up in the last committee meeting back in November, just we do have one truck that's approaching 9 years, and with the asset management planning, it should actually have been replaced at 7 years according to the asset management. So I just wanted to get some discussion going with council and committees on, you know, how do we want to look at this and plan for the future? Like, there's no need to replace that truck anytime soon, but if we're gonna work with the asset management as we go, maybe look at making some changes so we can, you know, have some further out planning so we can start budgeting, you know, a few years in advance to plan for that sort of thing. And that'd be village wide, right? Not just for my department. Health and safety, the only issues are the ongoing issues that are in the reports with the building, and then the Federal Bridge Corporation with the bridge, they still have their temporary fence and stuff up in that area, so they keep that maintained and our staff don't go in that area. Security. I am gonna look at some options and get some pricing for an additional light to be installed at the west gate, which is the main gate that gets used. When you do come in at night, it's quite dark in that area near the gates. So I'm gonna have some electricians come in and just see what we could do for some kind of lighting in that area, just to make it a little more comforting and safe for staff when they come in, or if they're working in the late hours of the night. And then once I get that, I'm also gonna have them, there's a few areas around the plant that they're dark, and they should probably have some kind of illumination at night when people are around working. Capital, so 23 capital items. There are a few projects that are gonna get carried into 24. And then Badger's continuing to work on the flushing and the camera work for the condition assessment project. B&M Ross is continuing to work on the capacity study. I spoke to them over the holiday season and reminded them how important it was that we try to get a preliminary report from them ASAP in order to give to the developers so they can get moving forward too. So I haven't heard anything this week from them. I'll check back with them today or tomorrow. I'll give them send them an email asking if they can give me any.
So
kind of
why
update.
would they invoice when we haven't gotten anything from them?
They've been invoicing
They've been doing that.
in stages. So, and that's typically what most of them do now, is they do stages instead of one major invoice at the end.
I'm just not comfortable with that when you haven't gotten any product back.
And I understand, I agree with that. I don't like paying, but unless we, you know, put in some kind of a.
Yeah, I guess it
Like
has
if
to
we
be done
state
upfront.
that it can't be done, but typically a lot of the contractors now, they've all been putting in installments as they continue to work.
But they're working. This one, we haven't, I don't know what they've done because we haven't seen anything, but we're paying.
Yeah, I know, like, we do know they've been in, they went around the village, they removed all the manholes, they did all their invert measurements. We know they've been out and they've been doing work, and we've been working with them, trying to get them, you know, we've been getting them access to our GIS system, our mesh system. They are working on it, just not quite sure why it's taking as long as it is, but I know some of it is, there were some questions where the information that was on the drawings wasn't the same as GIS. So we had to go out ourselves and do some confirming that, you know, what was in the ground was actually in the ground, but I think we should be getting fairly close, especially, you know, we've asked them to focus just on that south side of the village, because that's where all the development is gonna take place, so. I think they should be getting us something fairly quickly now, considering it's basically half of the village, right, if that, so. Again, I'll send them some messages and give them a call, and all I can do is stress that we want it. But we don't know what else we can do to force their hand to get it done, but. Hopefully, like I said, they told me they would have us something by the holidays, and then I asked them if they'd have it right after, and they said, yes, they could get us something, so. Hopefully. I'm sure we're gonna be hearing from the developer shortly, again,
Yes.
wanting some information, so. And again, just had 2024 operating capital budgets, and they're gonna be presented and reviewed tonight, so. That's everything I have.
I have a couple of questions for you. The full-time vacancy due
Yep.
to the resignation, is that a posted vacancy?
Yes, it's been posted.
And
Just last week, wasn't it?
okay. And then the mold, is anything being done to mitigate those circumstances? I know it's a big issue and it's something we're working on a bigger scale, but like PPE, wearing a mask, that sort of thing that could help with the health effects for the staff.
No, not, there's nothing been done. We've had some contractors over the years come in and look, basically to do anything, they'd have to remove
Mhm.
the ceilings.
Yeah.
Once we get in that plumbing, electrical, has to be taken down, then we'd have to bring the whole building back up to today's code, which just isn't feasible.
Right.
I guess masks, we've never discussed wearing masks and stuff.
Is that something that we could think about recommending to the staff, at least in terms of for their own health in the meantime? It's obviously a new building, if when is built and approved, it'll take time no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah, we can discuss it. I can get a hold of some occupational health people and see if they have any recommendations or anything for that sort of thing.
Obviously, it's not a long-term solution, but
Yeah.
anything that will help their health in
Yeah.
the meantime, I think should be looked at.
Definitely, I'll put some emails out and get some contacts for some occupational health people and see what kind of things we can discuss. And we'll put it out there.
Okay, thank you. Those are all the questions that I have. Your hand.
I asked my questions mainly about being wrong.
Okay. The 2024 capital budget.
So, I guess is there, yeah, that item is just, so this is for stormwater stations,
Right.
just, and I'm sure Jay's on it, but just a reminder. Get stuff for Tina. ASAP.
Yeah. Basically that will kind of. It's pretty limited to
Yeah.
what we're already working on.
Yeah.
For capital, like for the replacement of the old diesels and kind of. Well, unfortunately, because the county, will have to discuss it, but I'll get some prices. I have contractors coming. Hopefully this afternoon to have a look.
At Michigan Ave.
Yeah, if we can get some, if I can get them to give me some, budgetary numbers, and maybe we can put some money aside in the capital to help cover that. It is 56 meters, so it's basically what 170, 180 feet of pipe. It's gonna be an expensive fix.
Yeah.
Is that a shared cost? How do we do that?
We have to review the agreement and see.
Review of the financial statements for the environmental services ending in December 31st, 2023. Were there any questions, concerns? I had none. Okay. If nobody has anything to add, then the next meeting date is set for February 13th, 2024 at 1 p.m. And we can adjourn.
And water tonight.
Yes.